Hi, ladies. Thank you so much for talking to us. We really appreciate you being here. I wanted to know how you think, or what you think an all women's and marginalized genders tournament does for the esports community as a whole.
Hello. I will start. Okay. Could you repeat the question, please?
Sure, hold on. Caught me mid bite. I'm trying to knock down my dinner.
Oh,
What do you think a all women's and marginalized gender tournament does for the esports community as a whole?
well, when I first started playing and competing, there wasn't many women at the time originally. So I think CSGO has really proven that having women tournaments is really creating a way and an opportunity for women to compete. So naturally, Riot and Valorant are doing an excellent job at creating a lot of opportunities with the VCT Game Changers tournament in just giving these girls the experience and opportunities they need to not only play but start competing and being able to play on the big stages. So this is just a really good stepping stone to help us get better and get the experience that we need.
Thanks, Em. Let's go to Brandon at Run It Back.
Hi, thank you, for speaking with us. I'm really excited to, take part in this and watch the action this weekend. My question is kind of in regards to the organization, being part of such a big organization in Dignitas. Do you feel there's any added pressure to perform well now that you're going up against Cloud9 and there's a TSM and possibly, and CLG and possibly even more organizations coming into the fold with women's teams for these tournaments as they're announced? Do you feel that pressure, or do you just kind of know your game, know your role, and are okay with just moving in and taking out whoever you need to?
Does anyone want to take it away? Well, I'll start. I guess I'll let somebody else chime in. Us as a team, we've been together since 2014, so we have been a team for a very long time and have also competed against big names for a while. So us, I think we have a really good advantage playing against teams that just got signed by these huge orgs, which is amazing. By the way, we're so happy to see this happen. Um, it doesn't put any more pressure on our shoulders. All we got to do is just go in there and play our game.
Does anybody else want to add anything?
I think Em summed it up pretty well, but yeah, we just want to focus on ourselves this tournament and show everybody what we got.
Love to hear it. Let's go with Rick.
Hello, and thanks for taking the time to talk with us today, guys. So my question would be, what's something that you think female and women players and people on just these non-traditional teams competing, what are some of the problems that you're facing? Just, like outside of just general flaming because, people go, ooh, women bad. But like, what's something that people would be shocked to know that you guys are kind of contesting against just trying to be professional players?
Oh, Rain, why don't you talk about our practice schedule? People might not know that we practice a lot. You're muted.
Oops, sorry, I unmuted just this mic. Hello. Sorry, what was the question again?
Essentially, okay, you can't hear me. Essentially, what's something that you think people would be surprised to know that women players are coming up against? Like, I know that there's a lot of just, excuse the phrasing, shitty people out there that you have to deal with in general. But what's something that even as a female pro, are you still encountering that people would be surprised to hear about?
Well, I mean, yeah, like you said, there are some pretty awful people out there on the internet, but Something that people would be surprised to know about us, we do put a lot of time into practice, and we do play against guys all the time, which might be a surprise. They might think that we only scrim against girls or other females, but we do practice against everybody, and we're not afraid to play in mixed tournaments. And yeah, I think that just about sums it up.
Great. Let's go with Dustin next.
Hey guys, thanks for taking the time today. How do you guys feel about the kind of co-ed teams and such as Evil Geniuses? Like, do you guys think that that's going to be more of a trend moving forward? And are you guys looking to stay together and compete, or would you be open to hearing offers from teams like that?
Hello. So when I first started playing, I actually went to local lands in Philadelphia, and I only played on co-ed teams, actually until I found out about Dignitas, and then I just wanted to join their team. But yeah, I think co-ed teams are great. I think there's nothing wrong with them at all. I really enjoyed playing with them, but I think there's something special about being on an all-women's team. I feel like we have a really strong bond with each other, and we're almost all like sisters. We spend all of our time together too. So that's something I never felt on a mixed team.
Okay, let's go with Malik next.
Hey there. Thank you, obviously, for taking the time to speak with us. So as storylines begin to play a huge role in Valorant so far, especially in North America, how important is it for all of you to tell your own story and kind of forge your own path, as it were?
I think we could all put a little bit into this. I'll start. For me, a lot of people might be able to relate to me on struggling with practicing and working full time and going to school and just trying to balance your everyday life with your passion of competing. And I did that for 3 years with my team, all while we were making grand finals, winning tournaments. I was working full time as a nurse as well and practicing full time with my team. So, tournaments like the VCT Game Changers is creating opportunities for more women to have this as a career. And that's something that wasn't an opportunity when I first started. So I think it's important for everybody to remember their passion and keep working hard towards their goals. And yeah, a lot of people don't know that we do practice really hard. We practice full time, 5 days a week, 6 to 7 hours sometimes, because we're passionate. We want to be the best in the world. We just don't want to show up. We want to give it our all and show everybody that we're here to play hard. And that's my little story. Anybody else? Jules, you've been playing for a long time too.
I'm sorry, guys. My English is failing. I didn't really understand the question. I wanted to answer something. Can you guys just explain what did he like? I didn't.
Could you
understand
repeat your question for her, please?
Yeah. So essentially, how important is it for you in having this opportunity to not only forge your own path, but tell your own story?
I feel people kind of romanticize a lot, like working with esports. Like, obviously, it is a dream. It is a dream for me. It's a dream come true. Doing what I do, like working with, like playing, competing, having friends as coworkers, and doing something I love for work. But like Em said, we practice a lot. We have to like sometimes miss a birthday of a loved one. We have to we don't have weekends sometimes. So I feel I always try to bring that to the people that think it's not like, sometimes I say, oh, I'm working, and people are like, oh, you're not working, you're playing. But like I just try sometimes to bring people back to reality and show this is a real job, that we put a lot of ourselves into it. We're really passionate. We really want to win, and to win, you have to give your 500%. So I don't know. That just makes me. I really want to win big tournaments, and that's what keeps me going. And I know the girls really want that too. So I don't know. That's my whole my main goal.
That was great. Jason, let's go with you.
Thank you, and thank you all for the time and answering our questions. Kind of riding off of that last response, this is obviously a very big tournament, being the first ever Game Changers, first ever all-female tournament of this caliber and of this size. What would it mean for both the org, Dignitas, and for you, the players, to be part of the first ever Game Changers winning team when all is said and done?
Could you just repeat that one more time? Sorry.
Yeah, sure, no problem. So basically, what would it mean for the organization, Dignitas, and for you, the players, to be part of the first ever VCT Game Changers winning team?
You know, it would be a really honor to win this because we come from like Counter-Strike and we champions from that game too. So winning this would like pretty much reach our goals because in CS or in Counter-Strike, we wanted to be the best team, and I feel like we kind of accomplished that. So we're kind of moving on to this game, and so yeah, that's our next goal, is to win these tournaments.
And if I may touch up on that a little bit of what Milk was saying, that's something that makes us different from all the other teams that are competing. We've won world championship titles in Counter-Strike. So we want to be the first all-women's team to win multiple championship titles in 2 different games. That's our goal right now. We want to be able to establish dominance in a whole nother game. And this challenge moving on to this game is exciting and it's fun. And it just kind of sparked a whole new passion in all of us. So we really want this one and to prove ourselves.
Awesome. Thank you.
Love it. All right. Let's go back to Dustin.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Hello.
Oh,
yes.
hey. Okay. So, yeah, you guys just kind of talked about transitioning from game to game, and you know, like, what are some challenges that have come from transitioning from Counter-Strike to Valorant? I know there's been a ton of pros that have obviously come from other games, but you don't really hear a lot of people talk about what transitions, what doesn't, and what sort of things, what some of the challenges are.
I think like some of the challenges was like for us anyways was learning like the utility and like things like that. Like we have our aim and like fragging ability, but we were slacking on like the utilities and like how to combo with different agents and stuff. So I think the transition from like CSGO to Valorant was fairly simple. We just need to learn the utilities aspect of it.
Can I compliment that one? I'd say that the hardest part was to stop playing CS inside of Valorant. Like, we have a really good coach now helping us, and he's been playing Valorant since it was released. So we improved a lot since he came into the team. And it's this that Milk said, but like we needed a little bit time to understand that we needed to play Valorant and not CS. But sometimes, even inside of Valorant, there are some situations, especially late round, where there are no utilities anymore, where everyone's used everything. You kind of play CS. So I think our experience on CS really helps us in some situations on the game.
All right, let's go with Declan next.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to ask about, since you guys have been around since 2014, could you kind of compare and contrast the difference between the early CS women's tournaments and kind of the Valorant tournament and scene today?
Yeah, hi. Back when me and Em started competing in 2014, we would go to tournaments and there would be, just a small number of teams competing. We would go to Copenhagen one year, there's only, 16 teams, and the next year there's 32 teams. So I think the exposure, like for women in the scene, is really good to help bring in more people to compete, more women to compete.
Cool. Let's go back to Jess.
So there's not a whole lot of VODs out there for you guys to watch because there's not a whole lot of women's tournaments right now. So that's a big part of preparation for these kinds of tournaments. So with the absence of VODs, how do you go about preparing for each matchup?
I could touch up on that since I'm the team captain. Um, Again, with my experience from Counter-Strike, I tend to not really focus too much of what the other team's doing, because then you kind of start to get in your own head and not play your own game. So I think not having VODs yet is okay, because then we're just focusing more on ourselves and playing our game and not playing their game. So yeah, we just have years of experience, and I'm just feeling so confident going into this tournament.
Thank you. Let's go to Brandon.
So this is something that I just love to hear kind of the perspective of pro players on. We've talked about where you guys have been, kind of the state of Valorant now with the Game Changers. My question is, where do you see Valorant going? What would you like to see possibly change, in terms of maybe agents, maps, gameplay, the community, tournaments, just kind of as broad as you can get with it?
I feel there's still a lot to come up. Like, I could say a million things here, but I think we cannot even imagine what Ryan is bringing in. And talking about the female community, but not the in-game part, I feel Riot has already been doing like a work that we've never done anyone doing. So we feel really happy to be part of this community now, and this is one of the main points that made us switch from CS to Valorant, because we really believe in the work that Riot is putting into it, and like me personally, I feel really happy on being part of it.
All right, we have time for 2 more questions, so we'll start with Rick.
So, what do you think is the biggest thing that esports organizations can do to encourage girls to get into gaming more? What is it that organizations can do either to foster a better environment, or is it just, putting on more pro teams and more tournaments?
I think seeing organizations picking up all women's teams is a great start to that. Um, like I said before, with my team before, we were not sponsored despite winning tournaments for 3 whole years. And it's hard because you want to be able to commit and put your full effort into it full time. So organizations picking up all women's team, huge organizations by the way, like Dignitas, is just such a great start, because then young girls have a woman gamer to look up to, and that's something I didn't have when I was younger. I didn't know that females played or competed or anything like that. So teams like my team are really role models and pioneers in esports right now. So big organizations picking up all women's team is a great start to getting more women to see, hey, I can do that too. And it's just creating a whole community that we never have seen before.
All right, and last question from Dustin.
Okay. Jumping off of that, do you guys think that these big organizations would be taking such a big interest in female Valorant if it wasn't for Game Changers, and what do you think would happen without that tournament to the scene?
Thea, Jules, Thea, Rain, Sudi.
Well, I feel Game Changers has a lot to do with big organizations being interested in that, because if there's no tournament, like why would they pick a team? Like, so I think everything is related, and of course the more tournaments we have to play, more the organizations will be interested in picking up teams. They're going to be looking at players that are shining. So yeah, I think it's really how can I say it? I think it has 100% like I forgot, my English is failing. Sorry. But yeah, I think it's because of the tournaments. For me, it's really uh, especially coming from the Brazilian scene. Like, I'm Brazilian and I played for a lot of Brazilian organizations, and we don't have a lot of structure in the Brazilian organizations. And now, like, being in Dignitas, I see the difference of being part of a huge organization and a small one. So uh I don't really, I'm sorry, but yeah, I think everything is connected. Like, the tournament make the scene just move, and like things are connected. Yeah.
I think you did a great job. Your English
I'm
was not
sorry.
failing. No, not at
It's
all.
good.
You
It's
did really
good.
That was
good.
a great answer. Thank you.
It just
Okay.
takes practice. That's it.
I
But-
know. I'm thinking in Portuguese and trying to speak English. And I'm in Mexico and something,
Oh my gosh. Well, well, I want to thank you all for Dignitas for joining us. It's always great to see you guys, and we're so happy you're here. We hope to see you on Sunday at our winners press conference. So good luck, go kick ass, and we'll see you again.